Hello, class. I apologize for the hiatus, but let's get back into it. Today, we're talking about the three levels of understanding of the Bible. So, before we get started, I want to give a brief background about my upbringing. When I was a child, I grew up in a very Christian household. 3 to 5 days out the week, I could be doing something church related. And one of my first mentors, my first mentor was one of my Sunday school teachers. And when I was about 11 years old, he brought me to the side and he told me one day I was going to have to break down the Bible past the context into the hermeneutics. And he told me that meant that one day I was going to have to read between the lines and find out the deeper meanings to what the Bible and the Bible verses are truly saying. So let's get into it. Now, before we get started on the three levels of understanding, I want to talk about the universe's beginnings. And there are many theories on how the universe originated, but today we're just going to talk about three. Now, the first is the Bible. And according to the Bible, 6,000 years ago, the universe and everything in it came into existence in a 6 to 7 day process. And the first human on the planet Earth was a man named Adam. Now, the problem with that is every day archaeologists discover people, plants, animals, artifacts, and civilizations that go way past 6,000 years ago. We have to understand that what they call prehistory is over 10,000 years ago. So we have to admit that there are some discrepancies in what's being told. Science. According to science, the universe is 13.8 billion years old. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. 6 million years ago, the first humans came into existence. And there are different theories on this. One of them is that man started from apes, but I don't even acknowledge that nonsense. The other one is that life started from a woman named Lucy that they say looked like Whoopi Goldberg. 300,000 years ago, modern humans came into play. 180,000 to 200,000 years ago, the Adam and Eve theory came into existence. 6,000 years ago, the new humans came into existence. And they say that these new humans are the ones that led the human race out of the hunter-gatherer period. Now, the third one is astrotheology. And the best way I can sum up astrotheology is it's a combination of mythology, cosmology, cosmology, astronomy, and astrology. And according to astrotheology, 74 trillion years ago, the universe began. 16 billion years ago, Earth began. 8 billion years ago, humans came into existence. And the first human on the planet is the womb man. Why do they call it the womb man? Because life starts from the womb. Now, I'm not trying to tell you to believe in any of these timelines or time periods, but I do want you to understand the principles in astrotheology. Why? Because if you're wondering why Easter is on a different day every year, astrotheology explains that. If you're wondering why they tell you Jesus died on a Friday evening and rose early on a Sunday morning, and they tell you that that's 3 days, astrotheology explains that. Now, let's get into the three levels of belief. Before the Greeks came and invaded Persia and Kemet, which is called Egypt now, there was not a one singular book that explains how the universe and everything in it worked. And the Greeks demanded for this book to be created, and this book was called Helios Biblios. aka the Book of the Sun. And the people who believed in it were called Helio-Gnostics, knowers of the sun. And when the Romans came in and overthrew the Greeks, they wanted their own version, and this became to be known as Holios Biblia, aka what we call today the Holy Bible. And Bible just means book of books. Why? Because you don't say the book, the chapter of John or the chapter of Mark. You say the book of John and the book of Mark, and they all come together to create one book of books, a big book. Now, the first level of understanding of the Bible is the believer level. And the believer is just your average churchgoer. And they believe that the Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth. And they believe that there are a set of doctrines that they must follow in order to see eternal life. Now, the second level is the level of the knower, aka Noah. Why? Because Noah knows things that the others didn't know, and they didn't listen. And when they didn't listen, they ended up drowning in the old world and weren't able to see the new earth. And the knower is just someone who understands metaphysics or astrotheology. And the third level is the Christ level, or Christ. And I put it in its original form because before the Greeks came in, a lot of our languages did not have vowels in them. So the Christ level is someone who understands metaphysics and astrotheology. And if you believe that Moses parted the Red Sea, that is metaphysics at its highest level. If you believe that Jesus turned water into wine, that is metaphysics at its highest level. And when Jesus said, I and the Father are one, that was a double entendre, which was saying, I and my higher mind, my metaphysical mind, are one. And on a astrotheology level, I and nature, or I and the universe, are one. Now, going forward, we will be talking about mainly metaphysics and astrotheology. And sometimes we will be talking about the Bible from a believer level. But I want you to understand that this book here, the Holy Bible, is your metaphysical and astrotheological textbook. It is your Helios Biblios and Holios Biblia. It is full of metaphysical and astrotheology stories. Now, every week we won't be coming out of the Bible, but it will be our textbook. So this is all I have for you today. This has been the 3 levels of understanding of the Bible. That's all I have for you today. Class dismissed.